My name is Tina Motley with Fig Tree Therapy, and I'm here today with Stephanie Borman, our ministry liaison, to talk about workshops that we are offering to people in the ministry. So, Stephanie, you have been a leader in this whole venture of creating this amazing curriculum and outreach for ministry leaders. And so I want to just start with the question of what do you feel like the biggest burden that ministry leaders and volunteers are facing today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So invariably, and I kind of want to start with this is it's a small sample. It's anecdotal because it's people that I've had contact with. But overall, it's burnout and compassion fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
They're really feeling, just feeling like they can't replenish. They're just giving and giving and giving, and maybe not understanding how to walk with people and not carry their burdens.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
Things I'm hearing about are just kind of, again, carrying other people's burdens, not really understanding what they're responsible for and what they're not responsible for, which I think happens a lot with Christians. We have sometimes fall into this trap where we start to believe that we're limitless, and we're not. God is, but we're limited, very limited.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot about youth, like youth discipleship. So middle school, high school, they're dealing with things that they don't know how to deal with.
Such as what?
Like sextortion among the kids that they're working with. Like deep depressions, like drug use, suicidality, cutting, eating disorders, all these things. They're not really sure what to do, but they're creating these relationships with these kids, like deep, meaningful relationships.
Right.
And I had one person tell me, and then like I'm at work and I have a down moment and I'm thinking about so-and-so and I'm thinking, is she okay today?
Right.
Right. And not really knowing what to say, what to do, or how to carry it.
Yeah. Well, as helping professionals ourselves, I think we understand being on that front line and hearing the stories and carrying the burden of that. And I think we are at risk for the burnout too. So let's just go straight into some of these workshops. So we are offering 6 different workshops. So do you want to name them for folks so they can just get an idea of what we're trying to accomplish here?
And I'm going to attempt to name all of them, but I don't have them in front of me.
Okay.
So we have a Boundaries 101, which kind of speaks to some of the things I was just talking about, is understanding what you're responsible for, getting a good handle on your boundaries and your boundary style, so that if there needs to be some adjustment, you have some tools to be able to do that, right? It's kind of awareness level. Compassion, fatigue, and burnout is one of them. Grief, companioning the griever. So learning how to walk with a griever into kind of that wilderness of grief. And then there are workshops that are designed to teach pretty basic skills. How do you teach? So how do you help the hurting person? Well, I think our propensity sometimes is to try to rescue or fix. And these are workshops that teach the basic skills that you need to be able to be present with someone and with them in that empathy, right? So that empathy where there's something in me that can connect to that something in you right now. But it's hard to do that if you don't know how to listen actively and connect and feel okay with that I have a piece here, but this is not all my job.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Sure. I think for us, we have a 55-minute hour. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
We see a client, they leave. But people in the ministry don't necessarily have those boundaries set for them.
Mm.
So, just a sneak peek into your boundaries 101, I'm sure people would wonder, because boundaries has so many different meanings to people now. And it's sometimes been an excuse to be
Stingy?
maybe,
Stingy with your time?
yeah, stingy. So that's not what we're saying here, right? We're
No.
talking about boundaries that are healthy boundaries that you're still serving. We're called to serve, but with limitations, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, yes. And honestly, I mean, we're looking at this through the lens of Jesus. And he came to serve, not to be served. Right. But that can be, but again, we have to understand the nature of God. And we focus a lot in ministry on how we are like God, Imago Dei.
Right.
But sometimes we don't focus on how we are not, like how he is not like us. And that's that limitless piece. Right? We are not meant to carry it all for other people. Yeah. And it really can lead to a feeling of burnout, which leads to a feeling of hopelessness.
Yeah.
And that's when you kind of get, it's like, okay, what am I feeling right now? Am I in hopelessness? Well, then I'm trying to do all this by my own power.
Yeah. So with the workshops you have developed, what does that look like for people? What can they expect?
Okay. So it kind of depends. Like, it can be done kind of, there's a lot of variability. There's a lot of flexibility. I want to stress that. There's a lot of flexibility. It can simply be like a 1 hour, 1.5 hour interactive presentation. Or it could be a 3-hour workshop. Or if there's a specific need that you have, we could work on a series of presentations or workshops or meetings. I mean, I think we're open. We have a kind of a basic menu to work from, but consider that a guide, not a guardrail.
Okay. So if someone in the ministry or a ministry leader has maybe an idea or a need that's not listed in any of these workshops, are we willing to create a workshop for them?
I mean, if it's a need that we feel like we could meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So are these workshops held in their locations and our locations? Is that also flexible?
Completely flexible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's sometimes I think it's better to be in their work location. I really do.
Okay. And so who are these for? Who would be able to attend these workshops?
I mean, church staff. So pastors, church staff, care ministers, high capacity volunteers is what I say. And so to describe that a little bit, high capacity volunteers would be like your discipleship leaders. They're walking with people for a long period of time and helping them to disciple and become a follower, small group leaders, youth leaders, same thing, small group leaders. Some of these small group leaders start with a group when they're in middle school and they go all the way to their senior year in high school. A lot can happen in your life in that time.
Sure.
And then I think ministry organizations too, like I'm big, I have a special place in my heart, and I know you do too, for these boots on the ground ministries. And these are the motel ministries that are going out to really really create connections with very high-risk populations, populations that are being sex trafficked, populations that are unhoused right now. They don't have a place to go. They're not really sure what's going to be next. And just really bringing that hope of the gospel in the form of relationship to these populations. That's a lot of work. And you need some space to process that. So that's what we're offering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what has made you so passionate about this?
Oh, I don't know. I just think I'm one of those people. But I also used to work in church ministry. And I do have some idea of how fast you lose yourself.
Okay.
And how big the need is, if that makes sense. It's a tough world out there, and there's a lot of need, and you can quickly get underwater with that.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so common for people in the ministry to neglect their emotional health?
It's a good question, and I'm going to pull back on that and say I don't want to assume that it's super common. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to put out there that, oh, if you're in the ministry, you don't know how to take care of yourself. Because I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't think that's true.
Right.
But I do think that as counselors, with our training, we do have special skill sets that could be helpful or be useful, possibly. But there is a great need. What did Jesus say? And I'm probably going to screw this up. But the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So there's a lot of need, and there aren't always a lot of workers to meet that need. Right. So it's easy to want to take on more and want to take on more and want to take on more.
Okay. So for maybe somebody listening to this that may think, hey, this is something that may be beneficial to me, how would they go about moving forward?
Mm-hmm. So they would want to reach out to Fig Tree Therapy and just request a meeting. Just reach out.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. What?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I think
kind of reach out to our admin would be a great way to, and we could probably put, maybe put some information about, what's the best email to reach out to, and we'll come to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you would want people to know about our workshops?
I think what I would want them to know, or maybe want to highlight a little bit, is the difference between Christian counseling and secular counseling.
Okay. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Never, ever with the goal of throwing secular counseling under the bus. That is not my goal here.
Okay.
It's good. And we're using the same clinical interventions, right? The difference is we're doing it through the lens of Jesus. And if you are part of that kingdom, right? That's the language we use. If you are a Christian, you are a Christ follower, there are certain parameters with that. And I do find sometimes that especially sometimes with ministry or church employees, I think they're a little bit afraid that we are not going to be on the same page.
Okay.
But all the same principles apply here. Forgiveness applies. Accountability applies. It's all through the lens of Jesus and what he taught. Love your enemy applies.
Right.
So we're doing that through the lens of Christ. We're not saying, oh, well, we'll just set this aside and use these clinical interventions, and you can decide whether or not you want to do it through the lens of Christ. And that's just not the way. It's not the way we do it.
Right. So it's true integration.
It is true integration.
Right?
Yeah.
Which I think maybe the church sometimes thinks that secular psychology is not biblical.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've done is really put it through the biblical lens of whatever workshops you may be offering, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's I mean, these worlds belong together.
Right.
And it's how do we marry this with the gospel?
So is there anything else you would want others to know?
Yes. So what I want folks to know is that we don't have an agenda.
Okay.
This is open-handed. This is service. Like, this is truly, we want to partner with ministry. We are not charging fees for this. We are not, it's not a bait and switch.
Right.
We're not like, we're going to give you a workshop and then we're going to try to sell you something.
Right.
That is not what we're doing here. We are full on in service. Again, we're trying to partner.
Right.
We want to be of use. We want to be helpful.
Okay. What would you say to somebody in the ministry who feels depleted, or like they've just been carrying too much for too long? What would you say?
Okay. I would say this would be my big question. This is the question that I ask people sometimes is, where are you? Because that is the question in Genesis 3 that God asks Adam and Eve. Where are you? Right.
Right. Disconnected.
I'm here for you.
Right.
We spend our time together in the cool of the afternoon. Where are you? Right.
Right. That's good.
That's
really
how I'd
good.
start it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's deep. Okay. Well, thank you, Stephanie, for taking the time to develop this, for the passion you have for God's people, and your willingness to step out there and do this. So if you are interested in any of these workshops, you can reach us at 804-239-7688 or email us at info@figtreetherapy.com.